Aussies are amazing, and why I say that. Across the board, people have been so nice, kind, generous, inclusive, encouraging. I have talked about a gentleman who gave me a car. I had been here for about 5 months, I think, and I used to have a job in those days. So my transport wasn't really that much of a problem. I could get on a bus, I could, get on the trains, or my housemate used to drop me. And then I decided to quit my jobs and pursue photography full time. Now, as a photographer, having a car is kind of key, especially in a place like Adelaide where public transport and especially last mile connectivity is non existent essentially. Normally, if you go by car, if it takes you 30-35 minutes to drive there, public transport can take you 2 hours and you might have to change 3 buses. I wasn't really sure how I was going to be able to do that, and I definitely did not prioritize spending on a car at that point because there were other expenses that needed to be taken care of. And I met this old Australian gentleman. He's about 75 years old. And one day, so I was talking to him. He comes to this house share and he helps out a bunch of other people across Adelaide to do things like, mowing old ladies' lawns, managing their yards because they can't do it anymore, a little bit of landscaping. He also works at a caravan place. And one day he knew that I would have trouble with buses and it would take me longer to get to client assignments, etc. And I had not really whinged to him about it, but I had said that yes, public transport in Adelaide is not as well connected as Delhi used to be. And one day he rocks up and he's like, "How's it going?" And casual chit chat. He loves having chai. And he's like, "I have something for you." And I was like, "Okay." And he whips out a key from his pocket and he puts it in my hand. And I was like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Come, I'll show you." And we step out and there is a car there. And my brain didn't compute because just what? And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "That's for you." And I was like, I'm not used to, A, I'm not very good at asking for help. And B, when someone does offer, I'm very bad at accepting it. I'm unable to receive it. Whatever, there's inner work that I'm working on. And I looked at him and I said, "I'm going to ask you once because this makes me extremely uncomfortable. Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And I had a car and it's going to be almost a year and I've been driving his car, and he had a bunch of cars and one of them was kind of just standing around, and he's like, "At least someone will use it." So I pay registration on the car. It's not in my name, the car is still in his name. I pay registration, obviously I get fuel filled and stuff, and a little bit if there are any small issues in the car that need to be fixed because it's a car from 1994. But can you believe that? I have a car. That's what I mean when I say that Aussies are amazing, and that's just one example. And yeah, it's incredible. Like, I did not expect that. The gentleman barely knew me. Like, he probably can't even pronounce my last name. It was just like, "Yeah, here you go." It's so chill. And I have heard from other Indian friends of mine that this has happened to them as well. Someone just gave them a car to drive till they could figure out their own thing. Aussies are amazing. So don't believe when you hear all this news about, Australia is racist and there's so much racism in Australia. And there'll always be, like I always say, I make this comparison. I said, in India, it has 1.5 billion people. And Australia doesn't even have the population that New Delhi has. New Delhi's population is more than the population of Australia. So the number of people in India versus the number of people in Australia, it means that the ratio of nice people is higher in India because of the sheer volume. But the ratio of assholes is also higher in India because sheer volume. So I'm not saying that there aren't any unkind Aussies. I'm sure there are. There always will be all kinds of people that make a place what it is. But it's not, yeah, people here are really, really nice. It might be slightly different from how Indians are, because obviously this is a different culture. But Australians are fucking amazing. They just, you walk on the street and it's like, hey. And I'm like, hey, it's so cool to do that. In India, if you do that to someone on the street, they'll look at you as if you're nuts. And here it's just casual conversation. You're passing by, you look at each other, hey, how's it going? How are you going? How are you going? Have a good one. Cheers, mate. Like anyone, men, women, kids, older people, whatever. It's awesome. It's really nice. Aussies are amazing.